Welcome back to Green Tea Gardens. In this video, we're going to talk about all about your cherry tomatoes. And especially if you have a short garden season, this is the video for you. Because I live in Long Island, New York, and we have a short garden season and coming down soon to fall time. So in this video, we're going to talk about, should we prune the tomato plant? Should we top the tomato plant? And what is even topping? Topping simply is when you hold the top and you just cut off the growing point so the tomato plant doesn't grow more. And why do you want to top the tomato plant? Topping your tomato plant is basically the energy doesn't grow more, the plant doesn't grow more up there, it doesn't focus up there, it focuses on growing the rest of the tomato. But there's a lot of mistake when people say topping the tomato plant and they just cut off the one top. Cherry tomato plant could grow anyway from 2 feet hybrid to about over 8 feet tall. So depends on the variety you get. The good thing about cherry tomatoes, you do not have to top it off right away because they're so small, they could actually grow faster and ripen faster and even ripen on your countertop way faster than regular other tomatoes, even than the beefsteak. The beefsteak take a longer time. So when you're considered topping the tomato off your plant, this is the growing point right here. This is the top. So basically that plant has a lot of tomatoes coming up. As you can see, a lot of them are still green. Now if the weather's about to get really cold, then you want to top it off. Cherry tomatoes plant could even grow in the fall weather. So I do not recommend right now to top it off. It will survive in the 60 degrees. It will still produce. All I recommend you to do, prune off most of your lower leaves and remove some of the suckers. The suckers is the main stem right here, right? And your branch right here. See that little growth extra part right here? That's your suckers. Remove them. Now the other thing when you're topping, which people make more mistake, they will cut out this top right here so the plant doesn't grow anymore, but you have a lot of suckers between. The plant wouldn't grow from the top, but then now the suckers will grow, taking away the energy from ripening up and growing the rest of the tomatoes. So if you're going to top your plants, you have to remove all the suckers. You have to go through all your plant and check where all the suckers is and remove them right here. You have to remove them. And this is a long one. I could do this to show you guys. So topping the tomato plant right here, all you do is cut off the top like that, and the plant wouldn't produce from it. The plant wouldn't grow from the top anymore. If you have these flowers and you do not have time, you could always remove them because they're not going to make it if it's too cold. But as I said, these plants grow faster and you have a lot more longer time to grow. If you have beefsteak tomatoes or Roma tomatoes, those are bigger tomatoes, you want to make sure you top the plant right off, prune out all the suckers and all the leaves right away, and it will take a while. Even if your tomatoes are orange, I tell people, like, even if this orange right here, go ahead and pick it. I'm gonna harvest all these red ones. The reason why I don't like to leave the red ones, if you leave them, you attract birds, you attract insects, and the plant is already ripening it up. So by harvesting these, now the plant has more energy to ripen up the other ones. And cherry tomatoes are perfect to pick when they're red like this. They're super delicious. They're so small. So this is why you could leave them late in the fall before topping them off if you don't need to. But be careful. If the plant is about 6 feet going and you have tons of green tomatoes and you only have say like 4 more weeks for your first frost date or something, then you want to top it, and I suggest prune out most of the leaf and remove all of the suckers. Remove all of the suckers completely. See that? So if you're coming down to the fall time in a short garden season, you definitely want to remove all suckers located between the branch. Remove all of them right now after you watch this video. You do not need them. If your plant is about 5 feet high, remove about 3 feet to 4 feet of all the lower branch. We don't need all of them right now because we're coming down to fall time. And whatever tomato is red or orange, go ahead and harvest them. As soon as we harvest them, the plant don't use energy on this. The plant will flow energy to the green one and to the smaller one to grow them and even ripen them faster. And now the weather's getting colder. You do not need to water your tomato plant every day. Water every 2 to 3 days, even 3 days. But try to stick to that schedule. Stick to your watering schedule. It's very important. And depends on your zone that you're living. you have to try to average when is your frost date, figure out your frost date when it's going to be really like in the 50s. Once it dropped to the 50 degrees, that's mostly a plant not going to make it, like tomatoes right there. So you want to try to harvest everything before. If you have bigger tomatoes, I suggest you guys prune faster. Remove all the suckers. The biggest thing is not just topping the tomato plant. You have to cut off the top plus the suckers. If you cut off the top alone and you have a lot of suckers, the plant will still continue growing. So do not make that mistake. Thank you so much for watching Green Tea Garden. I appreciate everyone who's been watching. Like and subscribe and comment.